So, I today we'll be reviewing the kits that you have purchased. We'll be seeing if uh, we have received all the components or not, and then we'll be moving on to our class. In our today's class, we'll be discussing on how we are going to implement four projects using the kits that we have purchased. Okay, so I'll also be introducing you to some terms like what is IoT, what are sensors, what is machine to machine communication, and that is a part of our technical discussion. But before we proceed to our technical discussion, uh, I would like uh, each one of you to please switch on your cameras and show me uh, the components that you have purchased. This is just to see whether you have all the components or not. If not, if anybody of you is missing something, then we'll know that so and so person is missing this thing, and we can guide you with it. But do not worry if you do not have any components at this point of time. um, we can figure it out on how we can uh, we can proceed over that thing. But first, I need each one of you to switch on your cameras and show me the components that you have purchased.
I don't have a camera, so can I send a picture on Hangouts?
Yep. Okay.
Okay, thank you. 1 second. Sorry, should I start showing you here? My camera is working now.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah. I have this Arduino Fun 3.7 kit,
Okay.
the Raspberry Pi module.
Can you please open up the Raspberry Pi module?
Yeah. Do you have a clear view?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. So you want
Okay.
me to open it from the bag?
Uh, yeah, that's okay. Do you have any other I/O board attached to the Pi module, or just that
No,
one?
sir. We have another Arduino kit.
Okay.
Let me open that up for you.
Yeah. Okay. And do you have uh, a USB cable for that? Okay. Done. Done.
All right.
And can you please show me the sensors? Can you please open that box of sensors?
Yeah, 1 second.
What?
Okay, so let's see how we'll do this. This is the first thing when you get when you open the sensors, and then let me take the top off.
Okay.
Oh my god. So once again, this is the first layer of the sensor board.
Okay.
Now this is the second layer.
Okay. And do you have any wires that
Yeah,
take all this thing?
yeah, we have a pack of cables.
Okay.
You want to see that too?
Yeah.
All right, 1 second.
Okay. Great. Thank you. That will do.
Uh,
Okay. The next person, please. Anybody else ready with uh, their sensor kit?
Okay, Sudhit is saying he's got all the components as Yashwan. How about Pranav, Neha? Okay. Okay. So both of you, would you mind? Yeah, that's fine. Both of you, would you mind just taking a couple of pictures and sending on the Hangouts, please? I think from what I've seen, Sumant, even the guys here,
Okay.
they've started ordering. So most likely by Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they should be getting all the three kits here. By next Monday, I think all
Okay.
the participants will have it.
Okay.
And they've also started downloading, the ones which you wanted to.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So Harshit, your dad has to buy it. I've sent him the links. He's got to buy it from Amazon by then. I've heard from Ashi that she's done it. I think Devansh has done it. Chaitanya has done it. I think Tanuj is getting it. Harshit, just check. Akasha, just check. Hadvik, I think, yeah, Hadvik also is getting it.
Sir, I told my dad, sir.
Perfect, perfect, Akasha.
Uh, okay. So let's do one thing. Just take the pics if you cannot share it right now, and send them to me. I will review all your components one by one and see if they are as per the expectations or not. If you are missing, like this exercise is just to uh, review your components and see if you have received all the components or not. So if you are missing any components, then we can know at this point itself, rather than waiting for a few more days and realizing that we have a so and so component missing. So it would be better if we know it at this point of time.
Sir,
Yeah.
I'm Abhinav here. Sir, actually, you didn't just say that what I have to download. Like, I was not there on that day.
Oh, okay. So I'll do one thing. I'll ping the links once again after this class on the Hangout chat that we are having. You can download it from that point. It's just two files that you need to download.
Okay, sir.
You can as well refer the recording of our last class. You will get to know what we are using or why we are using them. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Fine. Okay. So I have a picture from Sudeep. Fine. Fine. Let's get started with our session today, our technical session. Um, if you have anything to share regarding components or so, you can share it on uh, the Hangout chat. I'll have a look at it. Can I become the host? Okay, great. I'm the host now, so I'll be sharing my screen. Okay, so we have completed the first phase of our course, that is uh, IoT with Python. We had seen on the basics of Python programming language in our first part of our course. In our second part of our course, we'll be implementing practical projects on IoT kits that will be procuring. So it's okay that even if you do not have any kit right now, you will not be left behind, because we have planned this course in such a way that even though you do not have a kit at the moment, um, it's okay. We'll help you with that as our course progresses. So for today, I'll be introducing you to a few technical terms related to our projects. So in our due course of the next phase of our course, we'll be implementing four technical projects with the sensors that we have, and our main aim will be to integrate these sensors that we have to uh, to the internet and take a few readings or do a simple decision, or take a simple decision of on the readings that we have from our sensors. So in this session, we'll be dealing with introduction to IoT, what machine to machine communication is, and then we'll be reviewing a few softwares that we will be using in our course. Okay, fine. So so let's get started for the day. So the first term that we'll have to learn today is the term called as Internet of Things. Now, what do we mean by the term Internet of Things is we do have different physical things, such as we have uh, suppose say we have a physical thing like our door. We do have a physical thing like a, a pot of uh, a plant. We can have a physical thing like a bulb inside our room, a fan, or our television set. So all these are our physical things, the things that are non-living in nature, and these things do not have senses of their own. Now, whereas living things, on the other hand, they do have some sort of senses. For example, let us take the human being for example. Now, what all are the senses that a human has? We do have the sense of vision. We use our eyes to visualize the things. We can see the things. We can see objects. We can see the trees. We can see other living things. We can see other non-living things, and we can visualize moving objects. So that is one sense that we have. Now, humans also have the sense of smell. Now, we can use our nostrils to sense uh, the smell of different things. We can smell things which are pungent. We can smell things that are um, perfume, something like a perfume which has a sweet smell. We can smell something like a garbage which isn't of a pleasant odor. Now, um, moving on with the concept of senses, we also have uh, the sense of hearing something. Like we can hear person speaking to each other. We can hear an animal barking. We can hear a cat um, saying meow, and we can hear different things from different places. So that is also one type of sense. Now we also have another type of sense, uh, like the sense of touch. Now, when we touch someone, we can feel that the other person is touching us, and we can also uh, uh, sense the object's touch by the amount of heat uh, it radiates. For example, if we touch a box of pizza that has just been delivered to us, we feel that the pizza is hot. Similarly, if we touch an ice cream, we feel that the ice cream is cold. Okay, so we do have different senses, and each one of our um, body parts act as our sensors. Okay, now we have um, non-living things on the other hand, which lack these sensors in them. So do you think a light bulb in your room, can it know whether it is a day or a night? Now, as human beings, since we have the sense of vision, we can easily figure out that uh, is it night now, or is it daytime. But a light bulb, it cannot figure it out on its own. So yes, Abhinav, go ahead.
Sir, it was by mistake. I'm sorry.
Okay, so where were we? We were discussing about different senses of non-living things. Now, non-living things, they do not have senses of their own. Like a bulb, it doesn't know whether it is daytime or nighttime. Similarly, um, a table fan, it does not know whether it is hot or cold. Okay, so uh, in order to give these non-living things some senses of their own, we will have to integrate some electronic components called as sensors to them by using the concepts of electricity, electronics, and mechanical motion to give them some sense. So what we are aiming is, we are aiming to give non-living things some senses and collect data from them. Now, what is the data that a human being can collect with his eyes? He can collect data like what color it is, it what time of the day it is, and also he can visualize the different shapes of the objects. Okay, now in order uh, uh, for me to know uh, what uh, what is the situation of my weather, uh, is it cloudy, is it sunny, or is it snowing? I can use multiple of my senses. Like I can use my the sense of my skin to feel whether the temperature is it hot or cold. I can visualize with my eyes to see whether I have clear skies or cloudy, or is it cloudy. Okay, but when I have to make a physical thing uh, realize what weather is it, I use different sensors like a temperature sensor, which senses the temperature of my surroundings, and also a humidity sensor to know the relative humidity uh, of my surroundings. Now, if you would be watching the news, and if you would be watching the weather update in the news, the weatherman or the weather forecaster, he would be telling us a few things like it is sunny today, the temperature is maximum 43 degrees, minimum of 20 degrees, uh, the relative humidity is so and so, There's no rainfall expected today. It will be clear sky. So these are the physical things that he will say. Now our first project deals the uh, with us building a weather monitoring system. Okay, so in order for us to build a weather monitoring system, we will have to use a few sensors. We will take a look at the at those sensors, and then we'll have to communicate this data to another part or another machine. Okay, so Internet of Things is nothing but sensing a few things and sending the data via internet to some other location. Okay, so you send something, and then you send that data that you have sensed using the internet to some other location, and at that location you take a simple decision. Okay, the decision could be, for example, if you have sent the weather, what would be the decision that you will take? Suppose, say you have sensed the weather and you have sensed that it would be raining today. So what would be the decision that you would immediately take? You will either carry an umbrella with you or have a raincoat. Now, if you have sensed that it would be snowing today, then you would adjust your clothing such that you will wear some warmer clothes like a sweater. So these are the decisions that we as humans take depending upon the weather that we have sensed. Now we can take similar decisions using the Internet of Things concept, based on the sensors that you integrate. We will see on how we can achieve that. Okay, so in order to take that decision, we'll have to sense something and communicate whatever we have sensed to some other physical machine. Okay, so we'll have to use the concept of machine to machine communication. Okay, now we know man to man communication. Now how does a man communicate with another man? He uses a language, like human understandable language, like English. It could be Hindi, it could be Telugu, it could be Tamil, or any other vernacular language that is used by human beings. But my machine, on the other hand, it does not understand human languages like English. It only understands its machine language. Now, in order for a one machine to communicate to another machine, it will have to uh, make use of some protocol or some language of its own, so that my other machine will know that machine 1 is trying to convey this information. I'll have to act in accordingly. Okay, now the concept of machine to machine communication is that machines can talk to each other over the internet. Yes, so you connect two laptops to the internet, and when I send you a message on Hangouts, it is reaching you. It is reaching on your physical machine. So I am sending a message from my machine, and it is reaching your machine. Okay, so this concept is nothing but machine to machine communication, and this forms our core concept for Internet of Things. Okay, I hope you have understood what machine to machine communication is. One machine talking to another machine is machine to machine communication. Okay, So we will be using the concept of sockets. Like internet has something called as sockets for machine to machine communication. Okay, now you can assume a socket to be some physical port that is using the internet to to transfer the information from one machine to the other machine. Okay, so let us see a demo in Python to see how machine to machine communication would work. Okay, for this we will have two particular things. One, let us call this part of our code as machine 1 and this part as machine 2. So my machine 1, let me name it as server. let me name my Let me call my machine 2 as the client. Okay, so machine 1 is the server and machine 2 is the client. Now when I want my machine 1 to send some message, or when I want my machine 1 to receive some message, and when I want machine 2 to send some message, uh, we will see how it is actually implemented using programming of sockets. Okay, for that we will have to import a package in Python called as socket. So you use the import statement to import this special package called as socket. Okay, that is common inside both server and client. Now it is okay that you do not understand, if you do not understand this entire program at this point. All you have to do is remember this entire thing is constant in every machine to machine communication program. So just copy paste uh, this code. All you have to do is you'll have to change the logic over here. Now I intend to send a message called as hello to this machine. Okay, and here I am receiving my machine. I am receiving a message called as to a variable called as very, and then I am printing that message, and I am closing the connection in between these two things. Okay, so what I am doing is I am sending some message, I am receiving a message over here. We will be it's okay that you do not if you, even if you do not understand this thing, I'm just explaining this to you so as to know how machine to machine communication will work. We will not be using the exact code in our projects, but we will be using a much more simplified version of this thing. But all you need to know is that in order to communicate between two machines, you will have to first connect to that machine. So here you see that I am using the term s.connect to some host through some port. Okay, once my connection is established, I'll be able to send some message, and here I'll be able to receive that message. Okay, so let's see practically how uh, that thing is working. Okay, so I have my Python program over here, the same thing, the same uh, server code I have written over here. I am executing my server code. Okay, okay, it says 10 is ready. Okay, now when I have executed my first set of code, it says it is waiting for my client to connect. Okay, now when I execute this thing, I'll be sending this word hello, and it should be received at this point. Okay, so let's see if it happens. So I have sent hello, and okay, so it has received hello, and uh, 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 it has terminated my program. Okay, so I am sending hello from this point, and I am receiving at this point. Okay, now I am doing it on the same machine, but what you can do is you can run this program on one machine and this program on another machine, and see that you send one message from one machine, and your other machine will be able to uh, get that message for you. Okay, now we will be um, I'll be showing this example to you upon a Raspberry Pi as well in our next coming class. Then you will be knowing the difference over here, that we are sending a message uh, from one machine, and you'll be receiving it on upon your Raspberry Pi. Okay, so this is the concept of machine to machine communication. Our machine to machine communication, it generally depends upon socket. It is okay that you do not understand this program at this point of time, but when we implement our projects, you will get a much more clearer idea on what I am saying. And when you go back and refer this thing at that point, you will be able to relate to it um, in a much more refined way. Okay, so you have seen that I had sent um, the term hello, and my another program, it was able to receive that hello over the internet. So I am using an IP address over here, and I am sending data over my IP address. I hope you know what an IP address is. If you don't know, then an IP address is some uh, a number like this will be assigned to your computer, which will become your address. Okay, so IP stands for Internet Protocol, and IP address is nothing but some big number that is assigned to your computer, which will form as your uh, which will act as your address. Now, uh, I- a physical address would mean that a person will have an address like flat number so and so. So and so would be the apartment, uh, so and so colony, so and so city, so and so landmark. Okay, so similarly, our computers will also have an will have an address called as IP address, and in order to do something over the internet, this IP address is something important. Okay, so this is my IP address over here, and I'm sending to so I am sending a message to my IP address itself. So I I myself am the sender, and I am the receiver as well. Okay, so if you want to,
Sir,
yeah,
how do you get your IP address? How can you find it out?
yeah. So if you are using a Windows machine, then open up a command prompt and then type IPCONFIG. Okay, so you can just open up a command prompt, and then you can type up this thing IPCONFIG and hit an enter. It will give you the IP address. Okay, since I'm using a Linux machine over here, the command is a bit different. I'll have to use the command ifconfig, and it gave me my IP address. This is my local IP address. But if you are using a Windows machine, just type this message, IP CONFIG. Okay.
So where do we type this?
Upon your command prompt in on your laptops,
Okay, sir.
type IP CONFIG and you'll know your IP address.
Sir,
Yeah.
when I try to run the command, it shows three different it shows three different IPs.
Okay. What are they?
Um, you have IPv4 address,
Okay.
and you have a subnet mask and a default gateway.
So
Okay.
the same thing for me too.
Yeah. So you'll have to check the IPv4 address.
Okay.
It will start with 192.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So that is your IP address. Okay. So I am talking from one IP address.
If you're on Windows, you have to use the default gateway. That's your IP address if you're on Windows.
Okay. So this is how machine to machine communication will work. Okay. So if you have observed some chat clients like your Google Hangouts or WhatsApp, they also use the same concept. So your your mobile phone is connected to the internet, your laptop is connected to the internet. Even your mobile phone will have an IP address, your laptop will have an IP address, and based on the IP address, I will be able to know that so and so person, uh, uh, suppose say my name is Raja and my IP address is so and so, and your computer program on the on the other end, suppose say you are using a Google Hangouts at your end, so you will be able to know that so and so person uh, is using this IP address, and um, so and so are his credentials. So let me send a message, then it will first connect to that particular credentials, and then it will send some data, and here I will be waiting to receive a message. So I will be accepting the connection whatever I will be getting from here, and then I will be decoding that message. Okay. So this is what it actually happens when you try to implement it as a bare basic program. Okay. So to this program, what people will do is they will build some fancy UI, like WhatsApp. What it has done is it has built some fancy UI, and it has utilized a similar concept to build its messaging platform. Okay. So even Google does the same. uh, you name any uh, chatting application, it will also depend on the concept of sockets to send some messages. Okay. Now let us see on the concept of IoT, and we will be discussing uh, a bit on sensors. Then we'll also be creating a few accounts on a few softwares, which will be using them in our projects coming forward. Okay. So now we had already seen the definition of Internet of Things. It is nothing but a network of physical devices, vehicles, home appliances, and other things uh, with embedded with electronics, softwares, sensors, actuators and connectivity, which enables these things to exchange data. Okay, so what it is actually saying is we are connecting physical devices like vehicles, home appliances like uh, TV, fridge, a fan, um, or a light bulb with some sensors so as to establish connectivity and then exchange the data. So once we have connected our physical thing, we use the concept of machine to machine communication and send some data from this point to some other point, so that we will be able to take some decision. Okay, suppose say I have sent some data over here and say uh, I've sent some data like switch off the fan, and here once I receive the data switch off the fan, I'll be using my uh, coding concepts on Python to switch off a physical device. Okay, we'll see how we can do that. So we can take up such decisions. Okay, so in a way what we are doing is we are converting our dumb objects, that the objects that do not have senses of their own, to some intelligent things. They will be able to sense these things, they will be able to take up some decisions. So we are making dumb objects smarter using the concept of internet of things. So you are getting it right. So what we are aiming is we are aiming at converting our physical things to something more, much more smart, much more intelligent. Okay, so now let us discuss a few things on sensors. Now what we have named, we have already discussed this thing called as sensors. Sensors are nothing but they are sophisticated devices that are used to detect something. Okay, so these sensors are uh, they generally use the concept of electrical or optical signals. It means either they use the concept of electricity or they use the concept of light to detect something. Okay, so it will generally convert some physical parameter into a electrical signal. Okay, suppose say I have a sensor which is used to detect light, the presence of light. Okay, so what it will actually do is once it has detected some light, it will convert this light signal into some electrical signal and send it to my computer or Raspberry Pi. Okay, so once I have some electricity uh, available at my computer, it means that I have some data. So that is how I will realize that uh, the so and so sensor has sent some data to me, and I will decode that data. Okay, now when the sensor it does not recognize anything, it will not send any data, because it has not sensed anything. It will not convert into some electrical uh, uh, energy, and it will not send uh, a signal uh, to my laptop or um, to my computer. Okay, so then when there is no electricity, it means that there is no data. Okay, so a sensor will essentially convert some something into electricity. So that something is nothing but the thing which it uses to detect. Now we have different types of sensors like temperature sensor, light sensor, humidity sensor, the presence of a human sensor, and we also have sensors to detect gas, to detect fire, um, to detect different smells. Now, you might have observed that when you visit shopping malls um, uh, or your schools, there would be some sprinklers uh, attached on top of your roofs. Now, these sprinklers, they would be activated when there is some fire or smoke. Okay. Now, how are these sprinklers getting activated? When they are sensing some fire. Now, how do they sense that fire? Is using a fire sensor. Okay. So that is how these things are working. Now, we have we most of you might have bought the sensors kit with you. So you each one of that sensor um, will be used to detect something. Okay, it could be detecting gas, it could be detecting light, it could be detecting temperature, it could be detecting humidity. Okay, it depends upon the sensor that we have choose. Okay, now let us take a general example of of a sensor that is used to measure temperature. Can you name a physical device uh, that is used to measure the temperature? I need answers from you for this. It is very simple. You might have you might be using it regularly in at your homes or when you visit a doctor. Now, how does this doctor know that you have fever or not? What is the instrument that he uses to detect that you
Thermometer.
have a fever or not?
Thermometer.
Yes.
Thermometer.
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 Yeah.
Thermometer.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Thermometer.
Correct. So the doctor, he uses a thermometer. Now, what is a thermometer? It is nothing but it is a glass rod with mercury inside it. Okay. Now, when the doctor he gives you a thermometer, you place it either uh, at the bottom of your tongue or um, or near your armpits. Now, depending upon the temperature that your body has, the liquid mercury, what it will do, it will simply expand. Correct. So your mercury at suppose say it is at this position, uh, depending upon the temperature of room, uh, and then when you put it inside your mouth and say suppose say you have some fever, it will go on expanding, and then uh, it will stabilize at some point. The doctor sees that that the mercury has expanded, and he will note the reading, and he will say that, hey, you have fever and it is at 101 degrees, or you do not have any fever, your temperature is normal, 98 degrees. Okay. So in a way, a thermometer is also a sensor. It is sensing some temperature. Okay. Now, we cannot use a thermometer uh, everywhere to measure uh, the temperature. So we use something similar to a thermometer, something, some physical thing. It might react to heat in such a way that um, it might conduct electricity. Okay. So what we can, okay, so what a thermometer and a temperature sensor. Okay, so a thermometer, it uses expansion of mercury to say whether you have fever or not. Okay, but whereas a temperature sensor, it might use some other thing like expansion of some metal. It might cause some electrical disturbances. Okay, now when I attach my temperature sensor to my electronics, a metal inside the temperature sensor, it might expand and it will cause some electrical disturbance to happen, and this will cause change in current or voltage at the sensor. Okay, so when I have some change in current or voltage, I will be knowing that there's some temperature change. Okay, so similar to my thermometer, uh, so once my mercury is expanded, I will know that uh, for so and so expansion of mercury, suppose say if my mercury is expands by 1 centimeter, then I will see my temperature uh, increases by say 5 degrees. Okay, similarly, when the metal expands, it will also cause some temperature difference. Okay, suppose say my metal expands, it has caused some change in voltage. Suppose say my voltage from 3.3 volts, it has changed to some uh, 3.1 volt. Okay, then I will be saying that I have a temperature difference of some 5 degrees. Okay, I'm just stating this for as an example so that you understand. Okay, so similar to a thermometer, we will have different sensors which will react differently to change in the temperature, change in the humidity, and they will cause some electrical disturbances. Okay, so that is how our sensors will work. They will sense some physical thing and cause some electrical disturbances. We will have to note down this electrical disturbance and uh, and say that so and so thing has happened. Now you need not know everything in detail of how much electrical disturbances is being caused, uh, what is the change and all, because everything has been done for you. All you need to know is that when you have a difference, then uh, there is something happening to it. Okay, so, something similar to um, uh, measuring the pH of different acids and bases. Have you done the experiment of taking a pH sensor and measuring the acidity or base of different liquids in your school classes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you might be in that experiment. You will be taking a pH paper and you will be dipping inside an acid or a base, and your pH paper it might change its color. So that is also one type of sensor over there. Now, what is actually happening is it is either reacting to the acid or the base, and it is generating some change. that change you are able to see on the paper. Now for electronic sensors, that change will be in terms of some electricity. Okay, so that is the only difference that you need to know on sensors. There will be some change, that change will be measured. So that itself is the basic concept of any sensor. You got it right?
Yes,
i,
sir.
I hope every one of you understood
Yes.
what I'm trying.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay, so this is how we measure something using different sensors. Now each sensor will work in the same way. Now I would like all of you to do something for me, so that we will be using this software called as ThinkSpeak for our machine to machine communication. Okay, now what we will do is we will use our laptops as one physical thing, and then we will be trying to send this data from our laptop to this software. The software is running at some other server, and we'll be sending some data, and we can visualize that data over the internet. So I would like you to open up your browsers and go to this particular go to Google and just enter ThinkSpeak, ThinkSpeak. Okay, and open the first link, thinkspeak.com. Okay, and then you can simply create an account. I'll show you how you can create an account. Okay, so once you go into ThinkSpeak, and uh, here there's an option to create an account. If you do not have an account, then create one. Okay, it will ask you for your email address, your location, your name. So just create one account, and
Sir,
you can,
so
yeah,
we are gonna click on sign in, sir.
not the sign in. If you do not have a account, then you need to
May
have a,
Google account or
yeah.
okay.
So just create one account, uh, create one over here. I have already mentioned that in the deck, so you can follow that for the link. If not, just go to Google and enter ThinkSpeak, open up the first link, and um, sign in, create an account and sign into it. Once you sign in, you'll be getting something similar to this. Okay, so once you sign in, and you'll be logging in, and you will be getting some similar screen like this. Okay, so just create an account today. If you are confused, then you can take the help from your parents, or if you are having any difficulties, you can post that difficulty upon the Google Hangouts. I'll try to resolve it. Okay, so this is just some something simpler, something like creating a Facebook account or an Instagram account. As it is as simple as that. I hope you all can do it. Okay, and then I also want you to download the software. Okay, I have given you the link for Arduino. now you have some of you have bought some development board called as the Arduino Uno. So in order to do that, we'll have to use another software called as Arduino. Okay, so go to the
Sir, should this be downloaded onto your SD card or onto your PC hard drive?
yeah, onto your PC hard drive.
All right.
Sir, I already have Arduino.
If you already have an Arduino, then it's fine. Okay, so these are the two things that you need to be prepared for your next class. And for those of you who are waiting for Raspberry Pis to come out, don't worry. We will try to build the programs upon your laptop itself, and then once you get your Raspberry Pis, uh, we will try to put this code upon your Raspberry Pi. But for now, you can simply use your laptops to do the programming and all. Okay, so just be ready with these softwares. The next and For our next class, we'll be using these things to build our first project, that is a web. We will be trying to build a weather monitoring system, wherein we'll be using the temperature sensor and the humidity sensor to know what temperature it is and what humidity it is, and we'll try to build a dashboard wherein we can monitor the temperature and humidity. Okay, so that's it for today's class. If you have any doubts, then feel free to
Thank
reach
you,
out.
sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.